Shalom, Israel. My name is Officer Kayad, one out of I.S.U.P.K, Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K is run by Commanding General YAHANNA, the one man with the rank and the authority to lead Israel at this time. I say Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Barakatham to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'asham Yahweh Shai to my sisters. All right, so we're going to talk about, Marcus Garvey and Haile Selassie today. All right, so we know that the foundation of the Rastafari religion, which many Rastafarians don't consider it a religion, but them say it's a way of life. But the foundation of it is that Marcus Garvey prophesied of a black king. The saying is that Marcus Garvey prophesied that you should look to the east, for the crowning of a black king. You understand? Where you know that, many people here in Jamaica consider Marcus Garvey a prophet. See? And that was the foundation of people starting to look to, Haile Selassie as that black king or the Christ. See? And many people who, was tired of the, the oppressor's religion called Christianity, who were seeking, a more black oriented movement seek to Selassie, because Selassie was coronated, sometime after Marcus Garvey made that, that statement. And they said that this was talking about Selassie. But did you know that Marcus Garvey did not even, see eye to eye with Selassie? You understand? Which means that this was nothing more than a misunderstanding. You understand? And we're going to jump to an article to show you the proof of what we are saying. See? In the meanwhile, just like this video, subscribe to the channel. Also, leave your comments. If you have questions, you can also leave it in the comment section. So this article, it says that were Marcus Garvey and Haile Selassie's enemies? And it says, answered by Barbara Beer, right? Marcus Garvey and Haile Selassie were not enemies, nor were they friends. Garvey was initially a very strong supporter of Selassie, as hostilities between Italian and Ethiopian troops began at Walwal in December 1934, and even began to unfold between Selassie, leading into the Italo-Ethiopia War. See? All right, so backdrop on this state of events is that Mussolini, which was the Italian, president at the time, invaded Ethiopia, right? And Marcus Garvey empathized with Selassie because Marcus Garvey thought that we were Africans, and he said that, we should repatriate back to Africa. So to see another allegedly black man or so-called black man being invaded by another oppressor, Marcus Garvey sympathized. However, he continued to read. Garvey moved from Jamaica to London as Mussolini was increasing his belligerence against Selassie's rule. The UNIA, which is the United Negro Improvement Association, right? That was Marcus Garvey's movement that he started. See? Let me continue read. The UNIA leader often spoke supportively about Selassie and decreed the Italian invasion of Ethiopia from Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park, or decried the Italian invasion of Ethiopia from Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park in London, defending the black nation sovereignty, because Selassie, now Marcus Garvey considered Ethiopians to be, like every other black people. Defending the black nation sovereignty's right and denouncing Mussolini's aggression, he urged the pages of his Black Man magazine to discuss the Italo-Ethiopian situation. But after Italian troops invaded Ethiopia in October of 1935, and Selassie was forced into exile in May Garvey became increasingly critical of the Ethiopian leader. All right, so after Selassie fled to England, you know what I mean, to seek assistance from the UN and also from Britain to fight off Mussolini, Marcus Garvey started to lose his faith in Haile Selassie. Reason being is because Marcus Garvey and the UNIA offered to give him that strength or that help that he, you know what I mean, that they thought he needed because he was a black man. So, you know what I mean, Marcus Garvey, seeing him in the light of another black man, wanted to give him that support as a black man. See? However, Selassie denied that, you know what I mean, support. As a matter of fact, Selassie basically ignored that and sought help from Britain, which was offensive to Marcus Garvey. Let me continue reading. When Selassie arrived in London on his way to attempt further negotiation for help, which would not be forthcoming. So initially they did not support Selassie. So he went to London and he did not get the help that he wanted from the League of Nations, which is now, the League of Nations is now the UN, the United Nations. He spurred Garvey along with other black activists then living in Britain. So he spurned them, meaning, you know what I mean? Let me look up the word spurn so that we can get the proper, you know what I mean, understanding of this scene. So spurned, right? Reject with disdain or contempt. You understand? So Haile Selassie, you know what I mean, rejected, you know what I mean, the support that Marcus Garvey and the UNIA was trying to give with contempt, like as if with scorn to say that, you know what I mean, who are these people? So Haile Selassie did not even respect the people over here giving him the support. Instead, he sought the support of, you know what I mean, Britain and the League of Nations. Let me continue reading. Garvey felt this rejection keenly, and at the same time, he was attracted to the power dynamic at work in the rising fascism of Mussolini and Hitler. You understand? So Marcus Garvey, you know what I mean, he felt this rejection. He felt offended that Haile Selassie would reject, you know what I mean, the support from black people. Why is this? Because Haile Selassie does not recognize himself as being like a black person over here, the descendants of the slaves, which Marcus Garvey came to understand, and he felt rejected. You understand? And was offended. See? Let me continue reading. While African Americans in the United States, including Garveyites led by UNIA New York officers A.L. King in Harlem, rallied to the Ethiopian cause because there was black people who were signing up to go over to Ethiopia to fight on Selassie's behalf. But Selassie rejected it as if to scorn those people, as if to belittle them, to say that they are nobodies, black people over here. See? Garvey began to blast Haile Selassie for his weakness in his Black Man editorial, you know what I mean, criticizing him for his lack of identification with blacks. Let me read that again. Marcus Garvey began to blast Haile Selassie for his weakness in his Black Man editorial, criticizing him for his lack of identification with blacks. So Marcus Garvey realized that that Haile Selassie did not identify himself with blacks. Of course, there's arguments that Selassie is not a black man. Of course, we in the I.S.U.P.K, we teach that we are not Africans. You understand? We and the Africans are not the same. But here you are seeing that Marcus Garvey realized that Haile Selassie does not identify with the people over here who were brought over here in slavery. Let me continue reading. And for turning to white officials. So Haile Selassie rejected, you know what I mean, the offer of support from the black people over here because he did not identify with the black people over here. Instead, he turned to the white officials. And it said, who would fail him? And they failed him initially for help, right? and at the same time praise Mussolini for his forcefulness and his manhood. So, you know what I mean? Marcus Garvey started to look at Mussolini as more of a man than Selassie because, you know what I mean, being another black man as Marcus Garvey thought he was, you know what I mean, Marcus Garvey saw it as being weak to seek help from your oppressor. And that is what we teach, you know what I mean, our people that, look, you understand? And the article, I will share the article in the description of this video. So for those who want to read this article, you know what I mean, you can see it for yourself. See? So we teach our people that we and the Africans are not the same. See? And we consider the oppressor our slave master, but you have to understand that Ethiopia and Selassie did not see it that way. You understand? Selassie saw England as a, what they call it, a supportive ally. You understand? And did not identify himself with us. And Marcus Garvey realized that and started to speak out against Selassie. Now, the question is this. Did our people know that Marcus Garvey did not see Selassie in a good light? And if so, then, Zane, if Selassie did not see Marcus Garvey in a good light, what is the foundation of the Rastafari movement is something that our people have to think about, you know. Because if the man that is, what I call it, crucial to the foundation of Rastafari, you know what I mean, the Rastafari movement, Zane, Marcus Garvey, prophecy was not about Selassie. As a matter of fact, the man himself who them say prophesy about Selassie did not even like Selassie. Then what can you say about the foundation of Rastafari movement or the Rastafari religion? What can you say about it? It is basically discredited because if this man is who caused the whole movement to point into the direction of Selassie, you understand? Then the Rastafari movement is discredited or it is null and void. You can't really follow Rastafariism if the same man that you said prophesy about him who caused you to start to follow this man now start to tell you that this man is a weak man. And now tell you that this man, you know what I mean, does not identify with black people. Then you have to reconsider what this movement is all about. Then you have to think and say that, well, this movement was based on a lie then. You understand? Because if the man that you say point you to this other man was not even in agreement or in agreement with the man that you claim him point you to, then you have to reconsider the man. You understand? And that is very important for our people to understand. Right? And as soon as our people understand this, then we can come back to our true nationality as the children of Israel. Come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments in the Bible, because Marcus Garvey himself believed the Bible. As a matter of fact, that saying that he said, look to the east for the crowning of a black king, was his interpretation of, you know what I mean, the Bible talking about YAHANNA Mashiach. You understand? And the thing about it as well is that Marcus Garvey did not worship Selassie as that God that Rastafari make him out to be. And Selassie himself was what you would call a Christian. You understand? Which we know that Christianity, you know what I mean, is given to us by our oppressor. He was an Orthodox Christian. Selassie himself was not a Rasta. You understand? And for those who say that, boy, them are Rasta, but, you know what I mean, they don't worship Selassie, well, you know what I mean, or they don't see Selassie as a godlike figure. See? Then you have to reconsider the name of that movement. Like the movement's name is Rasta. Rasta is a Rastafari, which is the name of the religion itself, is Selassie's name. is his birth name. That is Selassie's official name. You understand? So I noticed that many Rastafarians say that they are Rasta, but they don't worship Selassie. But to say that you are Rasta is to call yourself by Selassie's name. So it's all right. What we are trying to tell you is that the religion of Rastafari is not based on any real good foundation. It was a misconception, you understand? And that there is no, way to call it now, there is no excuse to even call yourself a Rasta, even if you say that you don't worship that man as God, because how can you not worship a man as God? And then, for example, if you say you're a Christian, Zane, can you say you don't follow Christ? You understand? Which we know that Christians don't follow Christ, you know, but the fact that you call yourself a Christian, it means, you know, it's a derogatory term in the Bible still, you know, but it means a follower of Christ. So if you call yourself Rasta, you basically say you follow Selassie, but Selassie was a Christian. So are you saying that you were a Christian? That is the thing now, Zane. But Selassie was not an Israelite. Selassie was an Ethiopian. You understand? I will jump to a scripture to show you what the Bible say about putting another nation over us as king. Because we know that Selassie was the emperor of Ethiopia. See? This is the book of Deuteronomy. Let me make it large on the screen so you can see. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17 and verse 15. And it says, "Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose, one from among thy brethren." What is brethren? Your brothers, talking about the same nation as you. See? "Shalt thou set king over thee." So you should set over you somebody who the Most High choose first and foremost, and somebody that is of your people, your brothers, your brethren. Because brethren mean brothers. Brothers is bloodline. You see? We and the Ethiopians are not the same bloodline. If you even look at Haile Selassie, you understand, you will see that Haile Selassie does not, you know what I mean, resemble, you know what I mean, how our people look. You understand? But it is consistent with how the Ethiopians look. The Ethiopians are not our people. See, let me continue reading. "Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee." So a stranger, who would be a stranger? A stranger would be an Ethiopian. The Rastafari community would want to say that we are Ethiopians, but we are not. Even Selassie himself did not identify himself with us, because Ethiopians know that we are not the same people. So Ethiopians would be strangers. Of course, there's an Ethiopian myth that says that Selassie is descended from, you know what I mean, Menelik I, which was the son of King Solomon, which we know that King Solomon was an Israelite, and we are Israelites. But that was an Ethiopian myth. You know what I mean? That has not been validated. As a matter of fact, it is, you know what I mean, it has not been recorded in the Hebrew scriptures or the Hebrew records that King Solomon had any sexual relationship with the Queen of Sheba or with Makeda. See? There is no record, but there is a rumor in Ethiopia, see, which we can't we don't validate. We know that that is a lie. See? Let me continue. "Which is not thy brother. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother." So to set Selassie as our God or our Christ or our King would be us setting a stranger over us, which is not our brother. You understand? And Selassie himself did not identify with the blacks over here because he knew that he was not our brothers. And Marcus Garvey found out very soon after he snubbed the offer. And this is how disrespectful that is as well, because Haile Selassie could have went to Britain and still accepted the help from Marcus Garvey and the UNIA, or black people over here. You know what I mean? But what he did, he chose not to accept, the offer from Marcus Garvey and the UNIA. Instead, he chose between us and the oppressor. He saw that there was a conflict and he chose the oppressor over us. So now for our people to say that Haile Selassie is our God or our king or somebody for us, you know what I mean, to adhere to or follow, is to say that you accept a man who did not even consider you worthy of his help. You know what I mean? Even when he was in distress, he did not see your help as even worthy. So would you really call that man a God or a king or somebody to follow? When he was in distress and you offered to help him, he rejected it, snubbed it disrespectfully. You know what I mean? As if to say that your help was, you know what I mean, was an embarrassment, or to say that your help was, you know what I mean, looked down upon. You understand? And remember that Marcus Garvey movement was pushing against the grain of the same oppressor that Selassie turned to. Selassie turned to England. Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican. Zane, Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican, and Marcus Garvey did not see favorable to Britain. You know what I mean? To the Queen, to the monarchy. Zane? So it was a total conflict, and Haile Selassie chose Britain over us. So why would you choose Selassie now over Marcus Garvey? And we are not saying Marcus Garvey is a prophet or somebody for you to follow. Of course, Marcus Garvey is not in the truth. Right now, you should follow Commanding General YAHANNA and the I.S.U.P.K. See? But Marcus Garvey would be a better candidate to be a leader over you than Haile Selassie, because Marcus Garvey is your brother. But Haile Selassie is not your brother. So it's a conflict now. It's either you are going to choose Marcus Garvey or you're going to choose Haile Selassie. You know what I mean? And we know who is more credible here. We know that Marcus Garvey is more credible because Marcus Garvey is our brother. And again, Marcus Garvey was not a prophet. You know what I mean? He was not Commanding General YAHANNA. So the best thing for our people to do is to come to the ISUPK, learn your history. You know what I mean? Learn what is going on and don't believe the lies that these religions try to place upon our people. And with that, like this video, subscribe to our channel, share this on all social media platforms. Shalom.